The crew described traveling through this part of Mongolia like going back in time. It was like seeing what the American West might have been like 150 to 200 years ago. Life for the nomads still revolves mainly around their livestock. In a society where wealth is measured by numbers of sheep and goats instead of money, everything revolves around tending the herds. Mongolians in this area were expert horsemen. There are no fences at all, so they have to watch the herds closely every day. The majority of their time is spent tending to the needs of the animals. In addition to their livestock, the locals harvested natural plants for food. There were wild berries, wild onions and potatoes, rhubarb, mint, and nettles. Also some medicinals like willow. And even marijuana grew wild along the riverbanks, though the tourists seemed more interested in it than the locals. Everywhere the crew stopped, the locals would come over to say hello. For many of them, these were the first Westerners they had ever seen. The boats were a never-ending source of fascination for many of them. They took turns sitting in them and spinning around on the seats like an amusement ride. Just like in the 1800s, many of these families might only ever have had one photo taken of them in their entire lives. People came from miles around just to be photographed by Peter. As they progressed downriver, the locals kept warning them of a huge waterfall. Mongolians don't traditionally raft or swim, so the thought of any rapids made the Mongolians in our team very nervous. The waterfall turned out to be nothing more than a Class 3 rapid, which Mikey ran standing up, just to show the rest of the team that it was no big deal. The drop turned out to be the head of the pool Peter and Mikey had fished 2 years earlier. Finally, they had reached the water they had been dreaming about for so long. They were amazed to see some of the same fish in the exact same spots. It was like the river had been forgotten by time. Mikey and Brent decide to spend the night in the canyon, shivering in their sleeping bags until the light of dawn once again made it possible to fish.
It's so cold, dude, I can't even feel my hands.
The effort paid off huge as the two scrambled through the canyon, hooked up to one big fish after another. At this moment, each of these obsessed anglers was willing to follow the other to the ends of the earth, which was about where they were. Mikey was on a mission to catch the trophy taimen that broke him off 2 years ago. And the Daughters of the River Gods, as taimen are known to the locals, finally delivered one of their own. Mikey is one of the most dedicated chroniclers of angling we know. He was a founding member of the Angling Exploration Group and produced their seminal video Trout Bum Diaries. He currently produces the multi-edition movie Soulfish. To see him on the other side of the camera, landing a true fish of a lifetime, is poetic justice indeed.
Wild on the fly.